guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you found us, and if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. Today we are working with those small bits of fabric that you get that you think there's just nothing you can do with them. Maybe stick them on a page or stick them on a card, tag, or whatever. If you're a journaler, art journaler, maybe use them in a mixed media piece. But I found some other uses for them that are a little different. So come with me and I'll show you. Okay, so these are the size I'm talking about. These are just really small, and besides gluing them down to a canvas or a page, there's not much you can do with them. These are, let me see, get my ruler here. Most of these are like 2 inches by 3, 2.5 by 2.5. This one is like 4 by 2, and this little guy is probably, I want to say, he's like 1.5 inches by 1.25 inches. So what can you do with these? I'm going to show you 3 things you can do, and they're super fun and super easy. Alright, the first thing we're going to make is a fabric bow. And I'm going to use this little cute pink square kitty fabric. And no, I'm not even going to square it up because it doesn't really need to be. So all you're going to do is fold it in a fan shape like we do paper. Just back and forth folding it. Okay, when you get to the end, grab it in the center like that. And see, you have a bow. Now, to close the center, you can do it. There's actually 4 ways that you can anchor the center so it will stay like this. 1, you can do it on a machine. 2, you can hand sew. 3, you could tie it with some yarn, string, or something else. And 4, you could glue it. So it really is personal preference. I am going to run a quick stitch. My hands make it really hard to do hand stitching. I can do it when we make really tiny ones, but for this one, because of the size, I'm going to take it over to the machine, run a quick stitch forwards and backwards down the middle, and that's it. That's all it takes. So come with me. I'm just going to take my fabric that I have folded back and forth. I'm going to put it in under the needle where it is in the center of my fabric. And then I'm just going to hold the ends. Sorry guys, my battery died. So what I did was I just stitched the center and I did front and backwards on it. And now all you have to do once it's stitched is fluff it out. And look, you have the cutest little bow. And I'm going to show you how these look on tags, envelopes, and other things in a little bit. But this is our first use for those little bitty scraps of fabric. Let's go back to my desk and I'll show you the next one. Next, we're going to take 2 pieces of fabric that are very similar in size. And these we're going to match up and we're going to trim off any extras so they basically are the same size, but we're not worrying about squaring them off or anything like that. And again, just do your best. I mean, these fabric squares, little scraps are so small. Okay, so now they're pretty much both the same size. And what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to take the inside, the plain dull side, and I'm going to fold over so I have like a little lip. So I have like a little contrast from the dark to the light. And what I'll do is I will go stitch that down at the machine in just a minute. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And this one doesn't have any pattern on the back, but I'm still going to do it just so you can see. If you have scraps of fabric that you can match together better, by all means make them more coordinating. Okay. So I have both of these folded over, so I have just like a little lip. I'm going to go back to my machine. You can, of course, hand stitch these. And don't worry if you cannot hand stitch. It's just a simple running stitch, which I can do on one. Let me show you that stitch. Hold on just a second. So I have a simple needle and thread here, and I'm going to show you a very simple running stitch. It's not even really pretty, but it gets the job done for what these little bags are. And that's what I think I forgot to tell you that. Next, we're making a little bag out of our scrap fabric. So I'm going to start on the end. I have my knot in my fabric and bring it up, and then I'm going to make a stitch. I don't know if you can see that. And it's just, whoops, you don't pull it tight, you don't want it to curl, and it's just like a straight line. Then I'm going to skip down just a bit. Try to keep them in line as much as possible. Pull it through, and you just go up and down, and all the way across. It'll look like, hold on. If you have a sewing machine and you want to use that, by all means do. Like I said, I use a sewing machine a lot because of my hands. Sometimes stitching is a little impossible for me. So, and if you are one of those people that crooked stitches drives you crazy, little fabric pieces not being the same size, you know, by all means, do you and make it as straight or as perfect as you would like it. I mean, that's great. This is yours. Okay? Okay. So that's what I call a little simple running stitch. It holds it down. Once you get to the back, you just need to, you know, make a little knot so you don't see it in the front. And because we have folded over fabric, it's a little thicker. You can reach under and make a knot. Okay, oops. Alright, so that's a little simple running stitch. You can do it that way, or this one, I'm going to go run through the machine real fast. And to run this through the machine, you have it folded over, you have it creased, and you just put it at the beginning and run it through. Now, if you wanted to make these little bags drawstring, you could definitely just sew it more on each end. I'm not going to do drawstring bags, but that's totally up to you. Okay, so now this little side, hold on, let me, okay. Whoops. So now we have that one stitched down with our machine. Okay, now we're going to put our two bright sides together like that. Now you can do the running stitch on the sides and the bottom, or you can go back to the machine. I'm going to run back to the machine real fast. Okay, all I'm going to do is stitch the sides together and the bottom, and I'm starting at the very top because it's not going to be a drawstring. Make sure all the sides are sewn together and nothing pops open when I flip it. Let's see. Then you just turn it inside out very carefully. Nope, see, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to go back over the sides again. And basically, I would recommend going over the sides multiple times, honestly. The sides are all sewn. You can see it better on that one. You just turn it inside out. Like I said, you have to be careful not to poke a hole in the sides or the back. And you have a cute little bag that you can stick charms in, paper clips. Like I said, you could make, with the lip at the top, you could run some string through it and make like a pull bag, you know, what do you call it? A cinch sack if you wanted to. But there is a cute little bag that would look adorable on a journal page. In one of the vellum pockets, maybe. You could put it in a vellum pocket. You could put it in a glassine bag. You could just stick it down on a page if you have one side that you like more than the other. So that's a great way to use those little bits of fabric up. Okay, let's head back to the desk and I will show you the last way to use those little bits of fabric. Okay, for our last way, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this bigger piece, but you don't have to. You can use a tiny, look, I'll cut this. So I'll make a small piece and a bigger piece, okay? All you do is cut this into strips, and we're going to make fabric tape. And it's really simple. Now, it's not washi because you're not going to be able to pull it up, but it is tape. And you'll be able to use it on pages, cards. You'll be able to use it in artwork, on letters, if you write letters. And the good thing is when you're using fabric like this, depending on how much fabric you have, you can cut this multiple ways and have multiple lengths. Okay, all you have to do is cut some strips, and I used a small piece. You could even do it with this piece if you wanted. And you use some tape. This is double-sided tape, but it sticks great to these little fabric pieces. And just make sure your tape is only on the fabric and not hanging off. If it hangs off, just trim it up. And you just have to line it up like that, and then you just trim it so you have a nice straight piece of tape. And for this, I use the tape ends as the guides to make it straight. And there you go. You have fabric tape. That simple. You can make as much or as little as you need. Let me show you some I made earlier that you might have seen in the opening. These are some that I made earlier. This is the little bag, and it has a dark on the back. This is my bow, and some fabric tape, and it's great. And let me show you how this will look. This is a tag that you can open up. It'll be tied. You can open it up though, journal on the back. But I've already pre-decorated, and all you do is you add your bow. You can use a little fabric glue, a little E6000. I'm just going to use a little Elmer's glue because it works. Just a dot there. Then I'm going to put my bow in the glue. And the good thing is, you might say, well, it's going to get squished. Well, yes, it is, but it's fabric, so it doesn't matter. It will still have the ripples in it, and it will still look great. And be sure and fluff it out once you get it on there. And then just let it dry, and you're going to have an amazing little tag. Look how cute that is. And there's a little tuck spot at the bottom. So these bows are great. They will mush, but they're still going to look amazing. This is an envelope that I pre-decorated. It's got some pink tulle on it to give it a little shimmer, some paper, and some vintage trick-a-rack. I always pre-decorate just so I can have stuff ready to go. Now, your little purse can just attach here. How cute would that be? How adorable would that be on there? And you could also just decorate with some tape. If you had some pink fabric tape made, you could put some fabric tape on here to give it a good look as well. You can make different size bags depending on the size of scraps you have left. Aren't they cute? But they will hold something. Also, as a bonus, I'm not going to show you how to do it, but if you want to see it, leave a comment down below. You can make little fabric envelopes. How cute is that? So I hope you like this. If you did, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. This is just some way to use those little scraps of fabric that we have laying around. Thanks for being here today, guys. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.